As a conversion copywriter and brand and launch strategist, my team and I pretty much tell agency leads, don't work with us unless you've tested your idea. Don't pay me any money. I firmly believe that. Good copy cannot fix a bad offer, and that's why in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly how I have validated ideas and hunches. This is how I've built offerings over the years in my business. The idea for this video came up because inside my private membership, the Copybar Collective, so many students are planning on launching something in the next year, but they wanted to make sure, is this built well first? I was saying things over and over again there, and I thought I might as well bring it on to my channel. By the end of this, you're gonna have a peek into my Asana strategy, my pre-launch workflow, and you're gonna know exactly how to brainstorm and validate an idea before you pour blood, sweat, and tears, which is pretty much what it feels like it takes when you're building a new offer. Let's go. Hey there, if we've not yet met, I'm Ashlyn Carter. I work with creative entrepreneurs like you because not knowing what to say, how to say it, that shouldn't be the thing that's holding you back from making sales. This is a little bit of what I've learned as I took my one-on-one service, copywriting, and I scaled those into group coaching and courses and even digital downloads and products. And let's get into it. Here is what I've seen this concept work for. Number one, this works great if you have a one-on-one service and you start to get more inquiries and more requests for work than you can actually provide. I'll double down on that and say if you're getting requests for work and the price point is a point of friction for a lot of people, maybe giving them some sort of a lower priced offer is a solution. That is how I built copywriting for creatives. It's gone on to help thousands of students master their message, write their site, and launch it to sell, but it started as a humble one-on-one service offering. So that's perfect. I know it works. I know it is a process. Number two, if you have a one-on-one service that you think could work in a group, this is a good fit for you if you find yourself saying the same things over and over and over again, and if you could just package it well, you wouldn't have to say it so much. Number three, if you're interested in having a workshop or a conference, but you want to see if the curriculum, if the IP works salon style, boutique style first. And number four, you think you've got this hypothesis for a framework or a methodology, and you want to test it, refine it, get it right before you then package it into a workshop or a course or a book or some kind of vehicle container package for it. Here's a pro tip. I say this to my students all of the time because it can really help define what I call your onlyness factor. Don't be afraid to figure out how to package your concept or your method or your system. You've come across these in the wild, perhaps more than you've even noticed. You can absolutely do this too. But if you have a system or a process, again, I'm using the fancy word hypothesis, but you have a guesstimate to the best prescription to solve a problem, might as well test this out and see if you can take it up to the big leagues. Okay, what are the steps to even doing this? Number one, you gotta get people in. Okay, my go-to analogy for this is always gonna be Tara Gentili's living room strategy. I'll link an article that she did below this video. This is gold. If you have an idea that you wanna test out, pay attention. Basically, it's built on the premise that it's a whole lot easier to fill up your living room than it is to fill a stadium. Amen. And you also don't need to have a massive list or a massive audience to be able to test this. So just picture your living room or somewhere in your space in your home where you like to hang out and host people together. What if you could fill that and then talk about your concept and teach it live? More on that in a sec. But think about filling your little virtual living room with people that you want to teach and coach through this methodology that you have. My vote, my opinion is under 10 people. It gets to be a little bit too many cooks in the kitchen, and I've tried. I've done under 10 people and I've done over 10 people. It was a lot easier when I had under 10 people. You are inviting opinions during this. Basically, the living room strategy, this concept to get people in, you're having them get their dukes out and bang and punch against your hypothesis, your curriculum, your concept. And you want them to do that. You want them to poke holes in it because you're trying to figure out how to refine this. You're trying to figure out, is it repeatable? Does it get results for multiple different types of people? So whether you are teaching people how to perfect their downstroke and all sorts of different Spencerian hands with calligraphy, or you're teaching them how to become a brand photographer, or you're teaching them how to write their website. Does it work in this small setting? If it does, and you can get that to work, then it's gonna translate to the masses a lot easier. Okay, so that's step one, is figuring out how many people you want in your virtual living room. And now we need to fill it in one of three ways. Here's the three ways I would recommend you filling this up. Number one, hot leads. You're gonna take people that have reached out to either get coaching for you or pick your brain, love that phrase, or work with you in your one-on-one capacity, and you're gonna come back at them with this. This is how I built copywriting for creatives, by the way. In the fall of 2016, I had multiple women reach out to me about working with me for copywriting services. I'd actually just launched Copywriting for Creatives version 1, but I didn't quite like it. I knew I wanted to get much bigger results for people. So for every email that came in with them inquiring about done-for-you services, I pitched them back. I pitched them back the idea that for 1/3 of the price of what they were inquiring about, I could instead walk them through my entire process. I'd give them all of the templates. I'd edit all their work. I'd have multiple one-on-one sessions with them, even though I would teach things in a group setting. And I would do that all in exchange for them telling me the kinks back. I also wanted them to tell me what else they needed. I got a handful, I think it was like 7 or 8 women to commit to that, walked them through, and that's how I got Copywriting for Creatives to be what it is. Number 2, for warmer leads. If you're not having a lot of people reach out and work with you one-on-one, try this. So if you do have an email list or an audience or some kind of following, then people may be interested in working with you or learning from you. They just may want to do it in more of an intimate setting. I told my student Christina to do this one time, to go in, find her email metrics, pull the list of people who are warm subscribers. So they are opting into, they're opening, they're reading a good chunk of your information that's geared towards what you would want to sell, and then send them a pitch. I'll put an example over the side for you to see. And the last thing would be more lukewarm leads. If you're following, we've gone from hottest, now we're getting to coolest type of lead. I talked about what to do when your people have raised their hand and they wanted to work with you. I've talked about what to do for people that might raise their hand, they just haven't been asked yet. And now we're gonna come to your bigger audience. This last way to fill up your beta test is to go ahead and send an email or put some posts out to your entire audience. This is my last option because you just want to be able to gauge it based on how much people would be interested. You may need to have some sort of consolation prize back pocket. For example, if you're only having 7 spots for people to go through this little incubator with you, and you have a ton of people interested, they're gonna be so brokenhearted. So maybe have them some sort of coupon code when they can get the whole course when it's out. Again, I'm gonna flash those copy templates that I have, so hit pause or screenshot these if you want. And let me give you the big why on how this works so well. You've probably heard of the curse of knowledge before. Basically, you speak what you do every single day. You're an expert at it. Those of us mere mortals, we don't understand, we don't know all the intricacies, and you probably did not get from point A to point B in a straight line. You bebopped all over the place when you were trying to learn what you do now. So you're gonna turn around and teach it. You're trying to teach it in a straight line, but that's probably not how you learned it, probably not how your audience is gonna learn it either. What this style beta testing does is it allows you to present some information and pause and wait for feedback. That is the kicker. That's why this has worked so well for me, because I can drop a bomb and then see how it resonates, adjust and tweak. Go ahead and comment below. Does that sound a heck of a lot easier than building this whole big product that is just tweaked down to how your fonts are kerned in your PDF and it's all beautiful, but then you ship it out and it doesn't work? Let me give you another little sub point for this tip. When you're pitching this living room style strategy, you're gonna need an executive summary or a 1-pager PDF. This is kind of like a mini sales page. This is going to outline what you're teaching, what you're going to work through, and what your takeaways are. Obviously, people are going to be leery to sign up for something when they don't know what they'll walk away with. You have to pound that out before you pitch it. What's this offer? What do they get? If you have my Sweet 16 sales page template, then go ahead down to the solution part of that template and flesh out a rough outline. That's what you want to send people. Before I move on to step 2, here's my last pro tip, and this is a big one. You've got to make sure that your beta testers, whatever you want to call them, understand that they are committing. I was telling this to my students on the Copy Bar Collective call last week. One time I was so excited to be part of beta testing for a program, and during the onboarding process we were saying, yes, I'm committing to showing up at these calls on these dates, and there was one call out of the 5 that I realized it was one of the first ones. I wasn't going to be able to attend. My sweet grandfather had gone on to be with Jesus, and I was going to be at a funeral. So I let them know this. I let them know that I will be on exactly right after. The timing was going to be really tight up against it, and I got turned down for the beta program as a result. Honestly, that's their prerogative, and I kind of get it, so no shade. I actually really respected the decision. They're trying, or you're trying to figure out, does this work? And you have got to have people be able to tell you yes or no. You don't need beta testers who get something for free and peace out and ghost. Okay, enough on step 1. Let me get to step 2. By the way, click like if this is resonating and you're thinking that you could build and test something this way. Step 2 is getting them the offer live. This is where the magic happens. You're executing your training, you're teaching your workshop, you're teaching your system. Whether it's virtually or in person, this is what helps craft your offer. What I like to do is explain a little bit and teach and then open up the floor. You can see on people's faces, like their faces don't lie. You can understand what works, what doesn't work, where they're stuck. You get to hear immediately what they need more of and what they don't need. Here's an important caveat in this step. I am team charge for a beta test or a beta program. I don't think you need to beta test for free. And it's this step right here why. You are giving everything but the kitchen sink away. Sort of. What I'm trying to say is you need to show up for these people. You need to commit to figuring out how to get them results. This will give you eons of knowledge for future product development and ideas. And not just that, but when it comes to client and customer voice hacking, I teach this inside Copywriting for Creatives. It's basically the concept of listening to your audience and then saying those words back to them in your copy. You're gonna have crazy good data all from this. Again, it comes back to the secret. It's all about testing and getting results before you build the full product, and especially before you launch it. Get wins, get feedback. Get wins, get feedback. One little mini tip right here. If you are confused with even how to teach, which I was, there's some good products out there. Digital Course Academy from Amy Porterfield. I took that back in the vintage days. It was called Courses That Convert and Webinars That Convert. And Course Chemist from Funnel Gorgeous. Those have been two things that helped me understand how to even present information. Okay, number 3, how to scale the idea. 100% record everything. After you finish teaching it, you're gonna then play the reshuffle game. You're gonna understand where you need to offer more examples. You're gonna understand where you need to offer support curriculum. You're gonna realize there was an objection that you never would have thought of before. I would recommend sending out a survey every week that you're testing this idea. Once you have an idea and you've built it and you know it's good, then it's time to launch, and it's so much better to launch something that's proven, I'm telling you. There are several reasons I've seen launches fail before. I did a recent video on that. So this is something I say all the time inside my Prime to Launch mini course. People won't listen unless you give them a reason to, but they won't buy unless it looks like there's proof in the pudding. And the only way you get that proof in the pudding is by performing it and executing it and then packaging it up. So definitely test. Like I said, that's my strategy. It's been a gold mine from taking my business from a little agency to having thousands, close to 10,000 students. If you're looking for more pre-launch content, or once you have this idea beta tested, then it is time to get it off the ground. It's time to launch it. It's time to create a whole marketing campaign around it. If that's your next step, be sure to look down below or go to primetolaunch.com. It's my Runaway Success mini program all about how to give people a reason to care about your launch. Thanks for watching. Give this a like if it helped you today. Comment below with any questions, and then now you know all about how to test your offer. Be sure you watch the next video I've got teed up for you. That's right, it's the one about launch mistakes, because I don't want you to be making those. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.